All right, now we're going to take a look at our seven-man protections. Now, when we want to go down the field with our vertical, our five-step game, we're going to use our barb protection. Barb protection just means big on big. I'm sure everybody uses a very similar term, if not exactly the same term. And the way we do it is, again, I've mentioned this in other things, but we start on our open end side. And we're going to number the linebackers, and we're going to use four. We're going to go from 1 to 4. So the open side linebacker is 1, the middle linebacker is 2, the strong side linebacker is 3, and our strong safety is 4. We identify the strong safety as part of the linebacker package, so that when people bring them up and they kick over into some kind of a stack look, some kind of a 4-4 look, he's part of the package, and we have to know where he is. So he's 4. Okay? We talked about before this call, the anchor being here to the left, the center here would make a Lou call, indicating that the anchor is to the left, and he'd be making a Lou call with a number. If this linebacker, as we used before in the communication, was number 44, the center here would make a Lou 44 call to identify that he and the left guard are going to be in combination in protection against the anchor and the Mike backer. Okay? Again, now this is seven-man protection. So we have check releases from the fullback and the tailback. The fullback has number 1. We're going big on big. Tackle on end, guard on bandit, and we're going to combo left guard and center to the anchor and the Mike. That leaves our tailback, or whichever back is to the right, okay? Whichever back is to the left has, in this set, would have this linebacker, and we'd be here with this linebacker. And it wouldn't make any difference what formation we were in. If we're going to have a seven-man protection, that's the way it would be. So if the fullback was to this side, okay, that's what we would have. All right? So it's the back of the two backs. The back to the left would have 1 here in this set because we're strong right. And the back to the right would have 3. 4 would be hot. If 4 comes down and comes off the edge, we're going to replace him right here, and we're going to make him hot. We also at times, based on who we see and what teams do, will also give the back to the right, to the two-man side, give him 3 and 4. Meaning that if 3 does not come and 4 comes, he'll pick up 4. If 3 comes and 4 does not, he'll take 3. If they both come, he'll take inside out, so he'll take 3 and will hot off 4. Okay, so that's the way we'll work that combination most of the time. All right, now you see here that the way we run our routes, starting from the call side, and we're going to start from the right here, numbers 1, 2, and 5, okay, 1, 2, and 5 are in the route. 3 and 4 have check releases, okay, so here's 3, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, so in our protection scheme, that's the way it would be set up. Now, we can change that if we don't have a great receiving tight end, and we'll get to this more later on when we do routes. But if we don't, if we don't have a great tight end, and we want to get the fullback in it, we'll just change it, and we'll change how we block it. And if he came out here, we would make him 2, and it would be the tight end who'd be blocking, and we'd go to load protection. But predominantly, when we're going vertical, we're going bob, and we're going this way. Okay? Now, if we release another back into the pattern, then we're going to go scat, our 6-man, and we'll go to that later. We'll look at that later, and we'd automatically have a hot then. Okay? But again, it's 1, 2, and 5 in the route. 3 and 4 are check releasing in this. They've got a protection responsibility. If that responsibility doesn't come, then we'll get one of them to the flat and one on the midline, depending on the route. But that's where we want our check downs to be. One to the flat, away from the route, and one in the midline. Occasionally, if we're running something in the middle of the field, we may not put anybody in the midline, but we do like that, and I'll get to that later when we talk about routes. Okay? So there's our vertical, when we go vertical, and there's Bob. Big on big protection. Now here's our load protection. And when we throw our quick stuff, this is what we like to do. We do not want penetration in here when we go 3-step. Okay? That's the killer. If somebody gets off the edge, we can live with that in 3-step. As long as our quarterback can step up in 3-step, we've got a shot to survive. What we can't survive in 3-step in a quick game is, quarterback's only 4.5 to 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. We cannot survive any penetration here. So we'll go load protection. Nothing changes for the weak side. The side of the anchor, we're going to get the center and the left guard comboing on the anchor to the mic. And again, this is a Lou. And whatever jersey number that is, and we're using the number 44. This will be a Lou 44. The difference now is we're going to put fullback on the end. And we'll live with that in 3-step. He'll go and get him. And then our right tackle is going to combo on the bandit to the Sam. That will take care of inside penetration. Excuse me. If we're doing this and we see a walk up here, we tell our tailback we don't care. We see that walk up, we want him to walk up so that we can meet that guy in here and again be solid inside. All right? So if we should get that, we allow our back to step up and meet that guy at the hole. So as you can see, the difference between our load protection and our bar protection is over here on the strong side, on the tight end side. Okay? We're going to get our tackle and our fullback to exchange a little bit as far as what their responsibilities are. In bar protection, it's the tackle on the end, and in the load protection, it's our fullback going to block the end. Now we can, if we would get into, and again we talked about formation, if we were to open this guy up and get into a Rex instead of a rip, that would move him down. Teams will move him out. Okay? And responsibility doesn't change here in Bob. Okay? And if we were to do it here, again, the same thing. If we were to move him out, we're going to get him to kick down. That's what most teams will do. He'll walk out. And again, things here, if we got this and we had no threat inside with this Sam, we would revert back to Bob. Okay, we would revert back to Bob. We'd make a call and have the end stay here, the tackle stay here on the end, and we'd have the fullback out here on Sam. Okay, so we would make that adjustment. Our players know to make that adjustment. It's a simple adjustment to make. When we go into a Rex, that's what would happen based on typically what people would do. But if we stayed in a rip, or of course on the other side on a Liz, then that's what we would have. All right, so there's our 7-man protection. Again, route running, 1, 2, and 5 are the route runners, 3 and 4 are the blockers, both in load and in Bob, our 7-man protections.